transmit. Hopefully all you can hear me. Yeah. Let me do it this way.
Sir,
Make sure you can hear me. What's that? Can you hear me?
sir, can you hear me?
Chung Yi, yes. Maybe slightly lagging. Thank you. So at least my headphones are working and my microphone is working. Thank you. Because you can hear me, but maybe sometimes I can't hear you. Okay, let's get started. Those of you not from KL, KL is still very cloudy, so the line may be bad. Maybe I'll do it this way. I'll change my other line so that it will not be what do you call it? It will not load the line. Okay, now if you can pull up your tutorial, the first tutorial that we have. Okay, and now if you have not pulled up, you can see on the screen. You can also refer to the screen for this tutorial. Okay, sorry for the slight delay because I'm having some problems with my Google. Seems that all the buttons, especially Gmail buttons, all these things are missing. I'm trying to restore them. Never mind. That's my issue. Let's get started with the tutorial. Now, tutorial I actually uploaded for all of you, so we should be able to receive them. I think a few days before. So hopefully you all have seen it, and then maybe you try to attempt it. I think because of the time constraint, we only given 1 hour to discuss the answers, and then when you're discussing the answers, it can be it take some time. So it would be good if you guys look at the questions beforehand before coming to the tutorial class, and then maybe identify which are the ones that you find that probably you cannot answer. I mean, of course, it's good if you can try it first, but then if you find that you don't have time to try, at least you scan through the questions and then see which ones you want to try to answer. Otherwise, I'll pick the questions, and then again, you can see within the space of time that we're given 1 hour, we'll find that probably definitely we can't answer all of them. So I'll have to pick a few and then try to get you to participate in answering them. That's one way to learn. Okay. So let's look at the simpler one first. Any requests for which question to look at? Now, these kind of questions are actually, you can see basically is more on the theory part. That means on what for each of the topics that you will be examined. So for each of some of these topics, you'll be, you look at the past year questions, it's always 2 parts. One part will be testing on your theory. The other part will be looking at your understanding in terms of calculations, in terms of understanding, in terms of how does the system works. And then based on this particular application, how does the AI come up with the answer? Whether it is searching for the shortest route or the traveling salesman problem. And now, of course, there'll be others, fuzzy logic and neural networks and swarm intelligence and the support vector machines. So those are the calculation part. But of course, the first part will be on the theory, checking on your understanding of the theoretical aspects of the theory behind that particular topic. Okay, so the questions I will go through, hopefully with this morning, you have a better understanding of how to answer such questions. So the first one, we look at the easiest one first. Look at number 8. Hopefully you can see. Let me see the screen first. Can you see the screen? I can see. So we look at the questions. Okay, let me scroll up a little bit. Okay. Okay, there you go. So look at number 8. Describe one application of artificial intelligence. So this is actually asking you. This is actually in a way a simple question and for you to do well. I mean, you can actually just identify one application and then just describe the application. Of course, depending on the marks assigned to that question. So you have to pay attention to the marks assigned to the question. If it's 1 mark, 2 marks, you can just say or type. I mean, application of AI will be to look for the shortest route from point A to point E, for example, with 1 mark. So just name it. So application will be in terms of sorting, looking at the shortest path. Um, if you're driving from point A to point E. But of course, the marks is something like 8 marks or 10 marks, then you have to pay attention and expected to give more details. Give more details for this question. So the marks also will give you indication of the expected details, understanding that you expected to give for that question. So in this case, we assume that this is quite a number of marks given to it. So we can look at the question itself. So you have to highlight all the key points. Now this one will probably give you about 8 marks or 10 marks, something like that, right? Because you have to highlight all the key points, not just give the title of the um, particular application of AI. So you have to highlight all the key points. So how do you highlight all the key points? Highlight all the key points by looking at the problem is trying to solve. So you have to describe the problem in sufficient detail, right? In sufficient detail, what what is the problem that you believe the AI can solve? So again, when you try to answer this question in this way, you will be you have to actually have a good understanding of the problem itself, right? So one good example will be your assignment. You can actually use your assignment to actually use it as an answer in case such a question came out. Because by doing the assignment, you would have understood what is the problem he's trying to solve. And then at the same time, by identifying the problem itself, it also shows that you understand that AI cannot be used for everything under the sun. Meaning that it can, I like to use this example, it can also uh, solve the problem of grading, identifying the correct grade for edible birds' nests or even things like eggs or mangoes, ripeness of mangoes. At the same time, it can also make you coffee, it can sweep the floor, and it can drive your car. Right, that's out of the question because that is a quite a wide range of things that you expect the AI to do. So that is not possible at this current stage of the development of AI. Maybe in the years to come, maybe they can do a bit more things, right? Like so far in our lecture, we talked about this before. AI is still uh, it's not still not a baby, but it's actually a little bit grown up. It can do a few interesting things, but not everything yet. Not like an adult, right? It can uh, uh, solve your factory problem. It can drive a car, right? It can cook for you, things like that, right? So it's not possible. So by answering this question, we can see what is your understanding uh, of the topic itself. As I may have mentioned before, the one of the uh, objective of having an exam is to examine see your understanding. How much have you learned for that particular topic or paper? So in this case, you have to talk about the problem. So maybe talk about a few lines. What's the problem you're trying to solve, right? And also try to highlight why you believe that AI would be useful over here, whereby AI, what are basically what are the advantages of using AI? Why do you have to use AI, right? To actually find the say for example the previous topic that we have gone through on search, why you believe that AI is able to do that, right? The motivation for that. Why not you let the person do it? Why do you believe that? Because uh, I think we also seen depending on the problem complexity. So maybe you're not able to get very good results. But again, the results itself, would it be better? Would it be better compared to human? And of course, uh, I think even in a simple problem like the search, finding the best path. I mean, even if we are not traveling from say KL to Penang or KL to Kuala Terengganu, even within KL itself, right? Kuala Lumpur, if you have to drive to a new place, for example, to get your COVID-19 vaccination another part of town, another part of the city, what's the best way to do it to avoid all the traffic jam? So this is something that humans cannot do unless you have to find out what is the latest news. Where is the traffic jam? Where is the police roadblock? This roadblock will cause traffic jam, so it will delay your journey. So these are things you have to also maybe highlight why you actually chose, why you believe that AI are able to solve this problem better than human. Okay, then once you've done that, talk about the problem, maybe a little bit about the motivation why AI has able to do it. Then you talk about the method. This is the method that the AI is able to how AI has solved it, right? How AI, I'm trying to what do you call it? Trying to highlight this one. I can see. There you go. So how AI has solved it. So you talk about the method that you use. You can talk about the greedy search. You can talk about the A star, right? The bidirectional search as an example, right? So that's how you do it. And then I think this one is actually, I think I talked about this just now. The why AI would be a good choice, right? Why AI is a good choice to solve this problem here, because you said AI can pull together different different sources of information. For example, other than knowing that what are the roads that lead to point E from A, it can also tell you the real-time traffic conditions. That means that in terms of the what you call traffic conditions, like a roadblock, how heavy is the traffic, right? Things like that, right? And then of course I said before, are there a lot of people on the road at that point in time? So is there alternate way, right? So unless you are very familiar with the town or the city itself, you will have not be able to solve it as compared to the AI. Of course, you can also talk about in case you choose another example, you can also talk about the AI being will not will be what do you call it on a different application can be working 24 hours a day without any rest, right? Compared to human. So those are things you need to highlight. So you can see from one simple question, just asking you to describe one application, you can see that you will easily spend 20 minutes or 10 minutes or 15 minutes on trying to answer this question, right? Um, now, this one also, I think I talked a little bit on question 6. I talked a little bit about the why where AI cannot be used, right? I think if you remember, we talk about this in terms of what is it? The If you cannot list down the steps, how the certain process, right? That means that from how you find the path from point A to point B or point E, how do you cook, how do you make a what do you call it, a martini, the alcoholic drink, or how do you cook roti canai, right? Things like that. So if you cannot describe it as a what we call recipe, as a steps, as various steps, you find that AI will probably not able to help you, right? So unless you can do that, right? So this one, you see that even though machines have been made intelligent and used in many fields, there are some applications where AI cannot be used yet. And I think I've shown to you that there's ongoing research being done to actually overcome, get AI to do those things that currently AI is not, find it challenging to do. For example, writing a story, writing poetry, writing music, right? So then what are the things that, uh, so you can see that although uh, AI is not successful in those areas, of course, the fact that it is not successful now doesn't mean that you cannot try. You as a scientist, as an engineer, will have to try to improve it. So therefore, things are, as I said before many times, it is what do you call it? They use the word fluid. If you understand what I mean, it's keep changing all the time because uh, especially in China, when you have lots of very intelligent people down there, young people, they will try to push the what we call push the boundary. Currently, the boundary is here. AI cannot do this, but by your efforts of these young very smart people, maybe one day in the near future, some of you will be doing that to actually try, or even now in your what you call in your FIP, you're trying to do that, or at least try to improve it, right? For that thing, for that particular application. So we find that we're trying to also try it out to use it for different applications. Some of the things we want to try it out so that we see that people are doing this way. Maybe I can try. I want to try using another way, which I believe can be better than the current way of uh, solving this problem using AI. Okay, so those are the things we talk about. Now, this one, I think, let me start with the first question first. I think, in the interest of time, I will have to go back to the questions here. So, first question is define intelligence. Again, you can see it's very simple. Just define intelligence and then discuss if intelligence can be measured. This is something we also have spent some time during the lecture to explain it. Okay, now I will now invite uh, some of you, I think, if not all of you, to actually try it out, to actually uh, answer this, or at least share your thoughts. Again, as I said before, it's only just to test whether how much do you know, and this subject is not like uh, how should I put it? Like maybe like mathematics, right? 1 + 1 = 2, right? It's always a right answer, but in this case, the answer itself, whatever you say here, because it's actually based on something we know. For example, intelligence. So all of us are human beings, and then we know that intelligence, or at least artificial intelligence, has been based on humans. So in this case, we all know this is something very general. What is intelligence? So it's like I mean, you don't have to study AI to actually maybe give us a definition, which may not be 100% accurate, but it's still give you it will. I mean, it'll still be correct. There's some parts which will be correct. So at least you can try. Of course, it'd be better still if you can, excuse me, if you can refer back to the notes, the lecture notes, or the lecture notes you have made on your own during the lecture, to actually share what you think is the definition for intelligence. So, um, if I may, let me see. If I can call somebody up, invite somebody up to try it. Mm, I'm trying to get the list of those of us who are here this morning. Okay, so I cannot do it. Okay, let me try on over here. Okay, I got a whole list now. Who wants to try first before I invite you? You can try. If you can try, at least I won't be calling you again. At least until the whole class is. Yes, Chung Yi, thank you. So I think this is. Let me see. I have to read Chung Yi's answer. I type it out. So he says that intelligence refers to the capacity for learning. So, um, Zhongyi, I salute you for your patience to type out or maybe you don't type out, you just cut and paste, but it's still quite an effort. For learning, reasoning, understanding, and similar forms of mental activity, right? Aptitude in grasping truth, relationships, facts, meanings, etc. Thank you. And I think this one is actually clearly he actually been doing some homework, or at least doing some work just now, maybe to actually look for it. So now from that uh, suggestion as the answer, for the definition for intelligence. Can anyone uh, tell me from that list of from the list of different characteristics of intelligence? Can someone tell me which are the maybe name me two important points from that, which actually summarizes what is intelligence? Can anyone do that? Before I invite you, this morning's about I think 14 of us. Yihang, are you there? How would you summarize it? What are the two main things from what you can see, as Chung Yi has suggested as the definition for answer is not yes. So I think Chung Yi also I think got a shock. Or his name popped up. Yes, good. Yihang, that's it. Thank you. Understanding. What's the next one? From that definition, what is the other important point? Understanding. I think understanding is one of them. What's the other point? Then again, before you answer that, look at ourselves. Uh, if we say we are intelligent, what is it that make us intelligent? Understanding is one of them, as I think as Chung Ye has defined. What else is there? What else is there? Understanding, reasoning, understand. Okay. Yes, Xin Chen. Thank you. Yeah, I'm looking for answer because you see, Chung Yi, because understanding to me, in order to understand something, I think it will be it's still part of reasoning, right? But you look at ourselves. For us to be intelligent, I think it's also you can see that it's not actually static. Isn't it? It doesn't stay still. It moves. That means through the years we will get smarter. If I may say so, intelligence. I use another word. Is smart, right? Smarter, right? So if that's the case, so we have to keep learning. Right? Ability to learn is one of them. So I think Xin Shen actually was spot on. Was actually right. He hit the bullseye. Like they say in archery. He hit the bullseye by pinpointing the correct, the other important characteristic. So, in summary, we have two main things from to at least very important in actually defining intelligence, as we have said in class. That is ability to understand and ability to learn. Right. So that is the, of course, the other things like reasoning, to understand and to reason and to then suggest an answer. Right. Suggest an intelligent answer. Right. So again, we have to understand what we are trying to do here, and then you reason out how to solve the problem, and then you suggest the solution to the problem. So in a way, it's a three parts. Right. I'm going back to Chung Yi's definition. Mental activity. Now, this one is a bit trickier. Why? Because don't forget, why are we? Can someone tell me why are we trying to define intelligence here? Yi is it? Yi is it? Tio Yi Si. Sorry, I maybe if I pronounce your name wrongly. Yes, it's not. It's not yes. What is it? Right? What is the objective, or why do you think we're trying to define intelligence here? Yi Si, Yi Chi is it? Yi Chi. I think XI. I've always had problems with XI. X. I'm trying to pronounce the name correctly. Okay. Now what do you think? Yi Chi, Yi Si. Why do you think we're trying to define intelligence here? Yes? Ichi, are you still there? Why do you think? I think after Ichi, after answering yes, to bring convenience. Maybe can you explain further? Convenience to who? Convenience to the user, to the students, to what is it? So you see at the same humans. Okay. Okay. Maybe in direct way. Okay. I can accept it. Chunyi, what do you think? What do you think of the answer from EC? He said that basically we're trying to define intelligence here because we want to bring convenience to. I think it's coming closer now. I think Yichi is trying to fine tune his answer now. Because why? Because I think I've highlighted this a few times before. That is, we are trying to yes, because we are trying to build. We're trying to build intelligent systems, right? So imagine if you're the correct, Chung-Yi, I think you're at least you're paying. I know I can see you're paying attention. Because basically, if you go to the market today and I tell you I will sell you this intelligent system, right? So of course, if it's maybe 10 cents or 20 cents, it's not too bad. But if I say it will cost you something like 10,000 ringgit, then you will say, first of all, ask me if I'm a salesman or salesperson there. Uh, how can I benefit by paying you 10,000 ringgit to buy your machine from you? That's one thing. So maybe I can say, oh, this machine will do this for you. But then, of course, it said it will also, for example, I think yesterday some of you brought up this question. I think in your assignment, one of your assignments is to design or at least talk about the Roomba, right? If I understand correctly, it's a robotic vacuum cleaner. So he said, if I buy this machine from you, it will help you clean the floor. But my living room or my bedroom has a lot of things there. How can it uh, not bang into those kind of things, right? So again, you say, oh, because my machine is actually the machine I'm trying to sell you will be intelligent. So then you come back to how you define intelligence. It's able to understand that in the room itself there are tables and chairs that you cannot bang into. You should not bang into. And of course, you must go around. I said back to I think who was it? Chung-Yi again. I talk about understanding and reasoning. Earlier on, talk about understanding and reasoning. So the system, the Roomba or the machine itself, must able to understand and then knows that you cannot uh, move through uh, a chair or a table. You just need to go around it. So reason. If you come across something solid, then you need to, by reasoning, go around it, right? So that's why we have to. That's why, in a way, it shows you as I said, so you can say, this is, I can see that your machine is actually intelligent. So again, why are we going through this? Because we want to define, right? So that we can then look at intelligence, and then for this particular paper called artificial intelligence. We are not looking at the real intelligence, right? No need, because all of us have it in ourselves. But if you want to design a machine which is artificial machine, not human, that's intelligent, how do we do it, right? So that comes to the next part of the question. Any questions? Have I able to at least share my thoughts on why are we doing this and what is intelligence? Right. Let's see. Next one. Discuss now. So after defining intelligence, and we say that, and we know that we agree that intelligence, there are at least two major things it must have, which is ability to understand, ability to learn. So now, can this intelligence be measured? What do you think? Again, I will invite some of you. Let's see who else can I invite this time. Su Wen. Is it correct? Su Wen. Can intelligence be measured? Simple question. Of course, again, as I said before, uh, this one, of course, we say yes or no, depending on, because if you say yes or no, it's a bit tricky. Maybe you get a 1 or 2 marks or half a mark. But of course, here you have to discuss, so it cannot be as simple as yes or no, right? Su Wen, yes as in what? Yes as in you hear me, or yes as you believe that intelligence can be measured? Su Wen, can be measured. Explain how can it be measured? How can you measure reasoning? How can you measure understanding? How can you measure uh, learning, isn't it? Ability to learn. So again, when you say measure, you have to go back to definition. Okay, smart Turing test. So this one also we would come to that later on the Turing test. What about the rest of you? Yan Chang, do you agree with Su Wen that intelligence can be measured? Agree, yeah? Very simple answer. It's my fault. I think I shouldn't give you such a simple question. Right? The rest of you, what do you think? Right. So I think at least in KL, the sun is coming out. So it's a nice day. So you can think of it. Imagine sitting there, we are sitting there in a coffee shop, and all of us are 15 of us, right, having a chit chat discussing what is AI, what is intelligence. Let me look at the answer from Zhong Yi. Okay, correct. So he said that intelligence can be measured through various kinds of tests, knowledge, understanding of problem, ability to resolve problem. Okay. Now I want to again test your general knowledge, right? Uh, in terms of what other types of intelligence are there, right? What other types of intelligence are there? Wei Hong, are you there? I thought you saying yes. So what other types of intelligence are there? Wei Hong? I think Wei Hong has fallen asleep because this lecture very boring. Yes, means what? Lecture is boring. What other types of interns are there? No, don't worry, don't worry. I'm just pulling your leg. But again, some of you actually at the end of the year, no problem. I understand. That's why I don't want to. No problem. That's why I don't want to turn on the video. I know that what's the question? What's the question? What's the problem? The question is, what other types of intelligence are there? You look at ourselves. uh, right? If you say this person is intelligent, open inverted commas intelligent. What do you mean by that? So I think we define that ability to understand and to learn, right? But what other types of intelligence are there? Of course, the question is there are there other types? So if there are other types, you're aware that other types of intelligence. What do you think, Wei Hong? Maybe I'll speak a bit slowly because the line is lagging. But lagging could be my fault because of the network over here. No? Are there other types? No, Lisp is a programming language. It's not another type of intelligence. Let me see. I think I look at your neighbor. I mean the neighbor is in the list here. Wing Liang. At least we share the same part of our name. Wing is there. Wing Liang. Are there other types of intelligence? If there are, what are they? Okay, never mind. It's okay. Don't. At least I know. Some of you don't know. It's okay. Nothing to be. We are all here to learn. I'm also testing your general knowledge. No problem. Mei Lin. I think I'm looking at the neighbors for Wei Hong. So your name comes before Wei Hong. Are you aware that there are other types of intelligence and what are they? So I think those of you, the smarter ones, the more intelligent ones, will actually know how to answer this already. Because while the lecturer is asking the other students, he will quickly go and check with Uncle Google. Mei Lin, are you there? Yes, as in you're there. What's the answer? Are there? Okay, fair enough. Good. I think it's another way of saying that. Okay, so you can see here, the intelligence itself, so far we assume there's only one type, which is just ability to, maybe I say there's ability to solve problems as engineers, right? We talk about those kind of things. If I have these problems of, I think for some of, no, I think some, I think no, maybe not in this class. I think not in this. This is MS, right? Not in this class. Um, my student, FIP student, is actually looking at defects detection. Correct, correct. So I think that's highlighted by Maylin, interpersonal, which is actually part of emotions, part of ability to talk to people, ability to handle people, put it in a very simple way. Now, other than that, you see, if I'm not good at mathematics, but I'm a fantastic cook, does it make me less intelligent than the person who actually uh, very good at solving engineering problems? I can see. So can see that intelligence itself is quite complex. So I think later on we discuss this. Why, although we have the Turing test, there are of course some criticisms, right? Some comments that correct. So can see. I think correct. Thank you, Jie. Wonderful. Spatial intelligence, music, creativity, artistic. So you can see, because I'm human, to say that we're intelligent. Now, then the next thing, very simple thing. I believe some of you one day may even be very successful business person. I will use the word person. That means not businessman. I don't want to be just one gender. Can be a woman, can be a man. So the if we say that, example, if we say that one very common, if I might say the word common measurement of intelligence in Malaysia or in other parts of the country is, or in other parts of the world, it will be in terms of your exam results, right? Oh, my son, my daughter actually got. I think recently I saw something. My old classmate, my classmate of in those days, we were in standard. We were in standard 4 until form 6. So we had about 10, 20 years of in the same school, same class. And then after that, after we start to work, we keep in touch. So I've been with him for about nearly 50 years as a close friend. And then his son scored 9 A's in the SPM. So in a way, his son is, I would say, smart, isn't it? Because you need to be able to be quite smart to do that. But imagine another of his classmates, my friend's son's classmate, maybe barely passed the SPM. It's just passed a few papers, maybe got a bit of a D's and a bit of a C's there, not A's. But at the end of the day, later on, after 10 years after they started working, this other my friend's son, become a very successful businessman. Right. So does that mean that he's actually less intelligent, right, than my classmate's son, who scored 9 A's in the SPM? Right. Can see. So again, what I want to highlight is that there are other things besides this simple measurement of intelligence. So can see that there's no one answer for that part of the question. Intelligence can be measured or not. So it is a yes for some. That's why I pointed up by who was it just now? Uh, uh, this Sue Wen, I think, talk about Turing test. So it's correct in a way. But at the same time, if you say that, sorry, my voice is going. But if they, if you want to measure intelligence, so you have to be very specific. I'm only measuring one part of the intelligence. So we have like Chia pointed out, there's so linguistic. What is linguistic? Linguistic means that you are a fantastic person in terms of ability to learn different languages, right? And how many languages do you all know? Right? Some of you may be picking up Korean, maybe picking up what you call Japanese. And I suck at learning languages because I'm very bad at languages. So you can see that I fail in that area, but I'm better in other areas. So these are the things you have to include in your answer. So it's not as simple as just yes or no. If intelligence can be measured. So you have, I think, this Jie gave a very nice explanation or answer. Other than this so-called logical, maybe I call it logical intelligence, there's also linguistic, right? There's also logical, mathematical, spatial, right? There's also some called spatial in terms of ability to move around in your mind. You can keep track of Johor Bahru, where is Kuantan and things like that. So it's called spatial from the word space. Musical, right? Some of you are fantastic musicians. You can play the guitar, and you can. And then once you hear the certain music, you know what are the chords that plays that, right? And also other things. Like also, Maylin talk about interpersonal, right? And then blah blah blah, a lot of things. So it's multi-dimensional, I would say. Yeah. So for that intelligence, right? Now we come to the next question. Then we come to the next question. What is artificial intelligence? And then discuss or rather identify the key areas that contribute to its development. So again, so you can see from question one, now we come to question two. So actually, in a way, there's a nice flow, right? It's all connected. So let's start with the first one first. What is artificial intelligence? And again, if you remember, I've given you 4 different examples from different times, from from Nielsen, from also Ray Kurzweil, different looking at different definitions for your your what do you call it, your uh, basically your definition for AI. But basically, it is all about what? It's about what's AI. Maybe can someone share again? Uh, what is the definition? Maybe just at least in your maybe your own words. If you're not too clear, Wing Liang, are you there? It's not the answer. Oh, sorry, you answered. Oh, you answered. You said don't know. Okay, never mind. I'll get someone else. At least someone who don't have the chance of being asked to share the answer. Yan Chang, I think I'm not called you before. I'm not invited you before. What do you think is a artificial intelligence? How would you? I think so far we can see we have talked about intelligence, and we also asked you why are we looking at intelligence in this particular class, in this particular paper, right? So this will give you a clue what is artificial intelligence to help you to answer that part. So Yan Chang, right? Correct. What do you think? Apa itu artificial intelligence? Are you there? Not there. Okay. Simulation of human intelligence. Okay, maybe you got it from somewhere. It's okay. But I have difficulty. Okay, maybe it's correct. Because I'm looking at the word simulation. It takes me a while to understand what do you mean by simulation, right? And I think the answer is also is correct. But you use the word simulation rather than imitating. So we actually simulating. So we're pretending to be human intelligent, right? And then in machines. So it is correct. In a way, it's correct. Correct. Okay. Okay. Now, next one. Who else? Who else have I not called? So if I'm not invited you so far, I think your turn will come very soon. Jumin, just name me 3. I don't need to answer all the. I don't need you to give me 10 or 20. Just only 3. 3 key areas that contribute to the development of artificial intelligence. Just 3. So again, I think it's also in your notes. I draw you a nice picture. What are the what I call the leaf, the components that contribute towards the uh, AI. So again, it's not that difficult, right? Because If you look at it closely, uh, never mind. I'll let Jumin try. Jumin, are you there? Hello, hello. Maybe lagging. Jumin. So what's the answer? Just name me three so that we all can discuss it further. Actually, if you look at it closely, it's actually not that difficult to answer. So in a way, if this comes up in the exam, actually this is for you to do well because you will sit down quietly and reflect. What are the things that you need to know, you need to study in terms of AI? What do you think? Who wants to help him? Okay, no idea. Okay, Heng Dong, Wing Liang, no, because you see, autonomous vehicle, I mean that vehicles that drive by itself is actually the outcome. Chung Yi, thank you. Right. By the way, Heng Dong, I noticed you have difficulty logging in this morning. Are you using your Gmail, personal Gmail, or is it using the UC's Gmail, Ta UC Gmail? I'm trying to understand why you have a problem because why means why you have a problem? No? Maybe it's one of those things because if you use the UC Gmail, you should not have any problem coming in unless I'm not coming yet. Never mind. I will monitor this to make sure that you don't have any difficulty coming in. So back to the comments. So I think Zhong Yi has given the answer. Signal processing, right? Mathematics is one of them. Biology, right? Um, Not intelligence. I think this is all this. You see, AI came about because people have to know about mathematics. People have to know about signal processing. People have to look at maybe a bit of biology, right? So anyone want to chip in anymore? So we talk about intelligence. The main thing about intelligence. What is intelligence? We've defined that. Where does intelligence come from? Where does intelligence come from? I think I've almost called up everybody already. I think correct. Computer science is one of them. But how about intelligence itself? The main thing, staring at you straight in the face. Intelligence. Where did it come from in humans? Now, what do you call the study of the brain, right? Because if you say that intelligence comes out of our brain, so we need to study the brain. So what is that? What is that field called? Anyone? Yes, psychology is one of them. Psychology is not so much as the brain. Psychology is more of studying the human behavior. IQ is actually is a test. Wei Hong, thank you for trying. Anyone? What do you call that field? The study of the brain. What's another word for brain? Maybe that's a wrong word. Maybe not. Neuroscience. Yes, correct. Hang Xiang. Neuroscience. Because especially in neural networks, right? When you want to study, when you created neural networks, the inspiration came from the study of the human brain. Okay, I see that I only have 5 minutes left, so I need to go on to the next one. Now, describe the key concept for the Turing test. This one again, simple questions. Looks simple enough, but let me try to explain to you how we can answer this. Before you jump into this question, answering this question, right? What do you think you need to do? So I want you to look at what are the major components of answering this question. First of all, there will be preparation, isn't it? Background. Background. What's the background? Okay. So background will be, I think just now someone answered this already. What is background is we want to measure intelligence, right? Let me see. This is Suwen, isn't it? He suggested measurement of intelligence is by the Turing test. So that is your motivation why you have the Turing test, right? You talk about measurement of intelligence through this Turing test. So there is a background, right? Motivation. Now, what about the next step? What do you think I should talk about? What should I talk about after talking about the background motivation? What else is there? So I need to talk about the setup. How is the Turing test conducted? What do I need? Or maybe another way will be preparations. How do I prepare for this Turing test? Anyone? No? Okay, quickly, because no time. So I would say that you need to talk about the preparation. You need to have how many rooms? 2 rooms, 4 rooms, or 5 rooms? Anyone? Need to have 3 rooms. That is actually the test itself, right? This is a Zhongyi, that's correct. This is the actual test itself. So there is actually preparation will be you need 3 rooms. These 3 rooms, do we need any special features? Is there anything special about these 3 rooms? Right? They must be what? Soundproof. And they must be what I call it, no glass. I cannot see who's inside the room. Correct? Right? So soundproof so that when you type, right? Like this, I can't hear you. When you type, right? Click sound, I can't hear. So that I don't know whether human typing or a machine typing. So I cannot see through the wall. The walls must be opaque. That means I cannot see through the walls. I cannot see who's behind the wall in the room, right? You need 3 rooms, right? What are those 3 rooms for? Like Zhongyi said, there's one what you call interrogator, what you call human tester, and then the 2 rooms has correct. It must be, of course, separate rooms. That's why I said 3 rooms, 3 separate rooms. You cannot see what's inside the room, and you cannot hear what's inside the room, right? What else? Okay, then you have a woman in one room and a man in the other room at the start. Then you as a interrogator. Now, what's the job of the interrogator is to ask questions that to prove that the person, what do you say, object, the person or object, the the person on the other room is actually a human or a man or a woman. So you can say, this is a man typing. This is in this room. This is a woman here. So that's how you want to put in a man or woman. So that is the what I call the setup, the preliminary setup for your Turing test. Now you come back to the test itself. Now the test itself. What else can you talk? What can you say about the test itself? The test itself consists of how many phases? Consists of 2 phases, right? Correct. Wei Hong, thank you. So what's the first phase? First phase is you you as an interrogator ask questions. Ask questions is not simple as have you eaten today, right? Do you feel good, right? and then I said make the same mistake. I think in a way, we can say that we are also conducting a Turing test because I can't see you and you can't see me. And then, for example, some of you may be smart enough to actually put a machine there to answer me. So I do not know, right? So in a way, we're also conducting a Turing test in a way. Yeah. So the question will be something that you cannot answer by yes or no, right? So for example, uh, what be a good question to test? Anyone want to try? To try the Turing test, Turing game, to check that actually I am here as a human, not a machine to teach you today, this morning. What question would you ask me? So those are questions have to be asked by the interrogator. Now, what's the second phase now? The second phase is at some point, you quietly replace either the man or the woman with a machine. And you need to continue answering the questions without alerting the interrogator that you have replaced the man or the woman with a machine. For how long must you do that in order to pass the Turing test? According to the notes, is you need to do that for more than 5 minutes. If you can continue to fool the interrogator for more than 5 minutes, you have passed the Turing test. So you can see here, such a simple question. Just describe the key concepts. It will take you at least half a page, single spacing of describing the Turing test. Right? So that's how we can answer such theoretical questions. Is that okay? I think looking at the time, we have to stop here, and I'll see you tomorrow. But before we go, as usual, I ask you, is there anything you want me to elaborate further? Something that may not be clear to you? If not, you all can leave. Of course, if some of you want to stay back for a while to chit chat with me, you're still okay. Otherwise, see you tomorrow then. Bye bye.